Alright, so from last episode, we worked on our nitrobenzene setup. I have done a few changes. Got this one switched over to nitrobenzene. Before we just had the one, now I got the two. I've been adjusting the regulators a little bit to kind of adjust the power output and fuel input. So I've been still kind of messing around with those to see what settings we like, so we don't run out of certain things. Still have a few problems in the oxygen and hydrogen area. We're not producing enough of that currently. Yeah, we're about to run out of hydrogen as well. So I did add another HV energy hatch on this. So this is a 4-second recipe now. So this is using obviously a lot more hydrogen and oxygen. So that's kind of our problem there. But we'll see. We'll see where it ends up when we get things buffers filled and everything. But I think the way, oh, I don't even have my jetpack on. It's a good thing I didn't fall down there. Yeah, so I think we'll watch this setup for a little while. See what we, obviously I'm gonna run out of oxygen and hydrogen, but I'm curious as to what that is going to, what issues that's going to cause down the road here. Let's actually see this diluted sulfuric acid thing too. Okay, yeah, so this is also a bottleneck, so that's kind of helping me slow this down. So yeah, we got a few things going for us and a few things going against us, but we are going to let that system ride. We are, however, going to add on to it in the beginning of this episode. So at the end of last episode, we talked about the industrial coke oven. So I've kind of done some maths here, and yeah, it looks like we're going to need about 32 yttrium. So I've been processing the redstone to get the rare earth, and we're up to 656. And I think we're going to install a chemical bath with sulfuric acid in it and rare earth to get us some of the crushed rare earth 1, and then we will thermal centrifuge that down to see how much yttrium we can get this way, and then we'll send it through the macerator to get the rare earth 1 like this, and then we will also make a single block dehydrator, maybe in the, I don't know, maybe the HV tier. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. So yeah, let's get to work. Alright, so first off, we're going to make some of this tantalloy 60 dust, and I think we only need to make the one recipe of it, so let's go throw that in a mixer with circuit 12. Alright, and actually we really only need 8 of that. Alright, then we need some titanium and then the yttrium, which we'll set up here in a minute. Just want to make sure I got the first couple things knocked out here. We'll throw all this stuff back in the system, actually. So, titanium, how many do we have of that? Alright, we got enough titanium. Alright, so on to the yttrium. Alright, so we need a chemical bath. Do we have one? We have an MV1. Alright, I'll take that. We also are going to need a dual interface. And we can make one. Nice. Alright, I think we are going to put it right in front of here for now. Just because I have AE2 and MV power over here. It's not, I don't think it's not going to stay over here. But this is kind of my, this was going to be my factory area, but it's becoming my kind of lab area now. Just because it's hooked up to AE2, so let's bring this out this way. Oh, don't really want, I thought that was a 4 cable. I think we're going to actually have to beef this cable up. That is some spaghetti wiring. But I think we are good to go on this. Can't see the the face of the centrifuge anymore, but that's okay, I guess. Alright, so the dual interface we'll just put here. And for now, we'll hook it up like that. Alright, so we have crushed rare earth 1 ore automated for now. I have a pump bringing in the sulfuric acid this way, and then a GregTech item pump and conveyor bringing in the rare earth from the interface. So all we have to do is do that, and that should go into our system. Alright, and then this we're going to want to throw in the centrifuge to get a thermal centrifuge to get a 11% chance. And then from there we macerate it down to get the dust, which we can then get some more out of. So let's go set that up. Alright, so we're in the back of our thermal centrifuge here. I currently have redstone and basanite worked into there. We're going to take those out for now and put in our crushed rare earth. I only had 18 at the time, so let's take this out and put it in the interface for now. So this should now go into the thermal centrifuge, and that should get us the centrifuged crushed rare earth 1, chance at yttrium and stone dust. And to remind ourselves, we need 32 yttrium, and it's an 11% chance here, and then oh, we got our first one. Sweet. Alright, let's dump that in there and let that run. Alright, so the next step in this process is taking the centrifuged crushed rare earth 1 and putting it in our macerators, which are not being used right now, and that will get us the rare earth 1 dust. Just put that in there, and that will get crushed down. Alright, and then this is where we need the dehydrator. So I think we're going to make an HV1 and maybe just put it somewhere over here for now. This seems like a good spot for it. Do we have everything we need to make the HV1? I'm not going to have those. This is an EV1, right? Yep, that's not what we want. HV. I don't have any HV circuits. I used them all. And electrum wire we need. And potent gears and an HV, or yeah, robotic arm. Potent gears. Do we have enough for 2? Are they 5 each? I can't remember. They're 4 each. Alright, there is our first dehydrator. That's weird. Okay. Alright, so let's put the dehydrator right next to these guys. And hook it up with a interface and a cable. Like so. And in here you just put the rare earth in and it should spit out a bunch of this. So let's do the rare earth 3 dust in this interface, and then we need conveyor. LV conveyor will be just fine. We are going to import, allow output, and that should suck in the rare earth dust. Yep. And then now what? Oh, we need power. That's what. And I have these superconductors, so I'm just going to use that. Also going to want the output to go down, and then cable, and then color the cable, and connect the cable. Alright, wow, that's actually really fast. And that's going to get us more yttrium and a bunch of other good stuff here. We can also electrolyze this stuff down for more yttrium. Alright, so let's auto output that. Alright, now let's see how many yttrium we have. We have 58. Perfect. Because all we need is 32 for and the rest of this stuff. Alright, and that'll get us 88 tantalloy, 61 dust with circuit 13. In an HV mixer, we'll use our EV. Alright, so 81 of them at 18 seconds apiece. That's going to take some time. So let's find something else to do in the meantime, or I'll come back when that is done. Alright, I'm back. The tantalloy stuff has been cooked up and cooled, and then I went and ran a bunch of it through the bending machine and the extruder. So now I actually need to make some, it looks like 10 frame boxes, which we can do that real quick. Alright, so that's the 44 plates we need, 40 rods, and 10 frame boxes. Might need to break down a coke oven. Yeah, let's go do that. This one never runs, so might as well do this one. I think they're just full of, yeah, full of creosote. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Alright, industrial coke oven, here we go. So that is the controller block, and then we're going to need 10 of these, which, let's do that over here. Ah! No! Alright, I need to go make some more rods. I think I have a little bit more ingots. Yep. Alright, we got lucky. Alright, first we change the circuitry to 1. Then we do that. Alright, 10 structural coke oven casings. Then we need 8 of these heat resistant coke oven casings that go around like this. And those are made like that, but then we got to make the gearbox, which is that recipe there. So let's see, a lot of bronze goes into this. Alright, so 16 gears, 32 plates, and the frame boxes, which is not on this recipe somehow. Okay, we only need 8 of them. Alright, and that is with number 3, so boom, boom, boom. And that's made in a crafting grid. Alright, there is 8 of those, and then we are going to need all my hatches. So 1 input, 1 output for items, and then an output for liquid, and then an energy hatch. You know what? I probably should have just made these steel gear casings because it looks like it's twice as efficient. Yeah, so are these used for anything? Just this multi-block, really? Oof. I should have read the description of this. So, like 5 and 6 lines down, processes 12 times materials with heat-resistant casings or 24 times materials with heat-proof casings. So we should have went with the heat-proof casings. I don't know. Maybe we'll use these down the road. I doubt it. Let's make these ones. Alright, so there is 8 steel gear box casings, and let's just make them into the, what are they called? Heat-proof coke oven casings. Bingo. Alright, that'll be better. And then we're going to need input. I think LV will be fine. Don't think we need to input any fluid. Output. LV on the items, and it looks like we're going to use HV on the fluid. And then energy hatch, so we'll be doing this, so it is really only MV power. So if I give it one MV hatch, I wonder how quick that's going to work. And we have quite a few. I wonder if we do two MV hatches. Run it at HV power? Does that make sense? Let's try it. Alright, let's go build this thing and let's see what we're missing. There's a quest for it. Apparently this can replace a few dozen paralyzed ovens. Alright, so yeah, this might actually alleviate all of our paralyzed ovens. We may not need them anymore. We get 2 EV loot bags or some tungsten dust, which we're going to go with that. And 1,000-point coin there, so starting to put my bags just in the system, and coins still over here. But let's go build this coke oven. Industrial coke oven. Forgot a muffler hatch. And we got plenty of those. So, alright, let's get this built here. I'm gonna place it over, I'll probably move it, but I'm gonna just place it here for now. Do that. And then let's do input here for now, output there, output fluid here. Energy hatches can go there. We're going to actually face those down. I am going to need something to power this for now. So let's get a turbine. 1 HV turbine should run this for now. And we're going to need some gold cable. Or you know what we have? Oh no, this is MV. So we need a transformer. Let's not blow up our base. And copper cable. And probably some potent pipes. Alright, so I guess we do these now. And we're not going to have enough, I don't think. I wonder if we put an input bus on here just to cheese it. Or input hatch. Because we will be short 1, it looks like. And then it's just the heat proof and whatever. Ooh. I wonder if the fluid needs to be on the top. No, okay, it doesn't need to be. Alright, so then these ones, is it hollow? I'm assuming it's hollow. Yes, hollow. Alright, then 8 of these bad boys around here. And muffler. Alright, you know what we are missing is a maintenance hatch. That's what we're missing. We are lucky enough to have one in our system. Let's get rid of this input hatch and put this here. And do the maintenance. And then we gotta power this bad boy. Alright, and that should have power now. I think it was circuit 9, right? And we let this bad boy run. 6.5 seconds. Wow. Okay, that's pretty quick. I am a little concerned for my wood supply here. Dude, we used to have 100,000 in here, and I think it's slowly going up now. As I've been updating the crops in our farm, kind of one by one in there. Just kind of periodically come up here and scan this, and this is a 6.3. What the heck? What kind of garbage is that, man? And then if it's better than any of these, then I replace those ones. But if it's not, I just kind of bring it over here and been getting rid of the pumpkins that I have in my farms because we are fairly good on seed oil for now. I'm sure I'm going to need more, but we uh, we haven't gone back to bees lately, so no super big need for seed oil right now. I think we're going to turn these off for now to see what this industrial coke oven can do by itself. So, I'm sorry guys, but you might not be around for much longer. Unless I can find a better use for you. Alright, so we're just going to let this thing run by itself. No pyrolyzed ovens on, just one industrial coke oven. Let's see how well this builds us some benzene. Alright, so benzene is actually looking pretty good now. Just with that one coke oven down there, or industrial coke oven. So I think that is going to be just fine. I did move my last turbine over to nitrobenzene, so we're using more nitrobenzene, but I was able to get a little stockpile. I turned the system off a little bit and was able to get a little stockpile of nitric acid, so that should be coming up now. But I do keep running into oxygen and hydrogen issues. So I keep putting band-aids on it, but I think I want to figure it out completely. So one option is the industrial electrolyzer, the multi-block, but we need to get further into IV. So I may be looking at doing a little progression. And one thing that I keep seeing in these recipes is this special glass. So it looks like we have a couple options here. We could do Botania, which, after all the tech stuff I've been doing, I think Botania could be cool. But we could also do, not this one. I haven't looked at the thorium yttrium one yet, but the tungsten steel one requires tungsten steel, which we have access to, but not like a huge supply right now. And this borosilicate glass block. So that is made by borosilicate glass bar, which can be done in an alloy smelter with boron. Boron we can get from electrolyzing down borax dust, which will get us a little oxygen, which is not bad. So 23 borax dust equals 24 boron. Borax dust we can get from bees, I guess. Salt bees gives it a chance. Ooh, oh, lithium as well. But that's going to take a little bit of time. Rock salt or salt ore. So processing this stuff down, which you can get a lot of. Thermal centrifuge it and then macerate it again. So you get a little bit of chance here. So that could be something I might want to work on in the background here, because it looks like all these MV machines, or MV, I wish, IV machines are going to require that. So the mixer does, and then if we look here, this electrolyzer is going to need this thing here, which is, I have no idea. And this also requires it. So it's basically like every IV machine. So we might as well work on getting some borax going. So let me do that real quick. Alright, so I think we're going to actually change course just a little bit in this episode, because I did realize we do have borax. It must be from processing in the past here. So we have a good amount of borax right now. So we're not going to worry about that just yet. Maybe next episode we'll start getting into some IV machines and stuff like that, because I need to figure out infrastructure and power, because like my base is kind of spread out. So I'll think about that in between episodes. But in the rest of this episode, you can kind of see that I've been destroying some things, because I have some ideas for what I would like this base to look like, and I figured we'd get started going in that direction. But we're not going to start here this episode. But one thing that I do want to look, because of this, me taking down this area, I realized that I created a lot of spawning spots for mobs because I don't have good lighting over there. So there is a quest right here for the QED. This changes every time. That's funny. Quacky ender device. So this device here is going to allow us to make these guys, the Magnum torches. And if you've played modded Minecraft at all in the past, those kind of you can set one and they have like a radius as to which mobs won't spawn. I don't know exactly what that is. Does it say? It might say in the quest. So it's, in this mod pack, the QED is not used for a ton of stuff. It's all labeled here. But yeah, I think we should go ahead and try to make this. Because I do want a couple Magnum torches so I don't have to worry about torch spam and stuff like that. And while I'm digging out my base, because basically this whole was a 7x7 chunks or so is going to be, I'm going to take it all the way to bedrock, and we're going to kind of try to stay within the constraints of this. This ring I think is going to go away. I don't really want to just yet, because I still think that a ring has a place. Why is my hover mode not working? There we go. Looks like I misplaced a block up here. But yeah, I think maybe not this color. Maybe this color. I don't know. Maybe I want it green. I don't know. Looks like I did a boo-boo here. Let's go put that up here somewhere. Still, we're almost to where I think the pyramid is done. We're almost tall enough to where I think we're done here. I'm thinking about putting my blood altar somewhere at the top at some point whenever we get into blood magic. But yeah, so what I am thinking for the rest of this episode is I would like to reorganize our fuel area because it looks absolutely insane. So I kind of took a bunch of things down. Obviously, we got rid of the pyrolyzed ovens. And I'm thinking about moving the industrial coke oven over here along with the distillery or distillation tower over here a little bit more, and then we're gonna need some single block machines to go through some of the other items we have over here and get this a little bit cleaned up, automated, and try to make it look a little bit nicer. So I am probably going to bring back one or two distillation tower or pyrolyzed ovens for wood vinegar and something else, something that got us the ethylene. I forget what it is. So yeah, let me get to work on this, and I think that's what we're gonna do for the rest episode here and get this looking a little bit better before we end this episode. So let me get to work. Alright, so I have removed everything that was over here and moved it over here pretty much, and then went ahead and automated the electrolyzer portion of these little byproducts that we're getting from the ashes, and added a centrifuge and another fluid extractor. I think we can actually add a few more to, because we're gaining on charcoal still, and yeah, so we could still add to this, I think, but I have been at this way too long, and I have finally solved our oxygen problem with this little setup here. We're probably going to run into a nitrogen problem next. I am hearing that we are running out of power out of something. What is that? Alright, I think it was this one right here that was causing the problem I had. It was the last one on this line, so I think the cable loss was affecting it, but yeah, I think that's fixed now. I just put it on my little transformer there. So yeah, we have the industrial coke oven taking our wood and making wood tar and charcoal. Charcoal is going through fluid extractors, making ash. Ash is going into the centrifuges, which is getting us all of these byproducts here. And then these byproducts are being pushed into these electrolyzers, which gets us all of these byproducts. And then also a bunch of oxygen, which I have an import bus on here to put the oxygen up at our storage area there. And then I have a storage bus on this drawer controller to add this all to the network. And then we increased our distillation tower to include a couple of these dimethyl benzenes. I'm not really sure what they're used for currently, or if we even need them, but yeah, I figured we might as well just do the whole deal there with the benzene. So yeah, that is our fluids or fuel setup here. So we are kind of ready to move on from power generation. I also, in the meantime, added 3 more turbines. Ooh, these are actually running, and oh yeah, they need to be. We are currently getting 30,000 RF per tick. These are running on benzene, those are running on nitrobenzene. These I kind of just have on all the time, and I turn them on and off kind of manually here. And I've been messing with the fluid regulators on these to kind of save benzene but also kind of give us power throughout the time that these are off. And it's kind of been working pretty good. We got a solid amount of nitrobenzene going. Benzene is going down because we have fixed our oxygen problem now. So let's turn these benzene ones off and see if that goes back up. Because if we have a benzene problem, that's a problem. Let's just turn these off for now and see if we have a benzene problem. Yeah, I don't know. Our benzene is kind of being semi-stable here. We're not gaining much, but we're not losing much either. So I don't know. I think our bottleneck is going to be nitrogen and hydrogen, but I think I can deal with that for now. But I am so done with power generation right now. It's time to move on. And if you have a keen eye, you'll probably see a hint in the end of this episode that what we're going to be working on a little bit next episode. So sorry this took so long to get out. Life has been busy, and then just trying to figure out all the little kinks to my power generation setup and getting it running to where actually we are losing benzene. Yeah, oh well, we'll figure it out. But yeah, trying to figure out how to get our power going for the future here. So I think we have semi-future proofed it for at least a little bit to where we can start progressing through the quest book here. So not next episode, but the episode after that, we are going to dive into the MV chapter and get going on this stuff here that I have never done, so I'm looking forward to it. We could even make our tier 3 rocket eventually here, and yeah, move forward, and because I feel like I've been kind of at a stall here. So yep, that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. So bye bye.